Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and today we are coming to you from MainStreet BookEnds here in Warner, where the attached gallery features local art and is home to yoga classes, art classes, book clubs, community meetings, lectures, concerts, and author appearances. We sit down with Katharine Nevins and get a rundown of her good books list. We'll get a visit from the owner of Reed's North Tavern, a local restaurant and watering hole. We'll revisit a piece we did on the reconstruction of the old Masonic building. And we'll close with a piece about a new music project by Lindsey Schust. But first, these messages from the good local businesses that are helping underwrite today's show. Remember, buying local is an important way to sustain the communities and programs we all love.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from MainStreet BookEnds right here in Warner. And I'm now joined by no stranger to this program, Katharine Nevins, the owner of here. Hi, Katharine.
Hello, Abby.
Thank you for hosting us and always checking in. You're always willing to give us the update of not only Warner, but what's happening in the book world here, too.
I'm always happy to do it, especially with you.
Thank you. I enjoy talking with you. Tell us about this room that we're sitting in, because we've done a few shows back here before, but I don't know if we've ever talked so much about what exactly this back part of MainStreet BookEnds is.
Okay, so this is a really cool building because it's a historic home. It's the Pillsbury Homestead, and it's the old-fashioned big house, little house, back house barn. It's all attached. So the barn attached to this home we have turned into a gallery, and it's been here for 25 years.
Wow. And
we get to represent the artists in this area. There are over 40 that we represent down here in the gallery and throughout the store. And it's always fun to be down here in the gallery.
It is. And these are local artists to the area, to the state? How local?
Most of them are right here in Warner, Sutton, Bradford. There are a few that may be a little bit further out, but almost everybody you see in here is super local.
Amazing. And how often are you changing out the displays?
They come in and change out periodically.
Yeah.
There's never any real cycle that we work on, and then there'll be a special program, but
it's worth coming to check out. There's a little bit of everything too: paintings, sculptures, photography. Really worth coming. Jewelry, really worth coming and checking out.
Yes.
Now let's go up front and talk about what your real bread and butter is, which is books.
I'm going to tell you about my middle grade level favorite pick. This is from Audie Rule, Nell and the Nether Beast. Very fun. If you've got a child who's, say, 9 to 12 and wants lovely fantasy and a mystery and a whodunit, this is very, very fun. My favorite fiction is this series from Iona Wishow, and she's a Canadian writer. This is a wonderful, wonderful mystery series. There are 8 in the series. This is the first one, A Killer in King's Cove. And then my favorite nonfiction of the year is The Long Field by Pamela Petro. Pamela Petro is a professor at Smith, but she's gone back and forth to Wales ever since she was a college student, and she started a writing institute in Wales. She talks about a concept that we don't have a word for in English, and it's just so interesting. The word is hiraeth, and it's being aware of the absence of something very significant in your life, and that longing. Sometimes it gets translated into homesickness, but that doesn't quite touch it. So in a series of essays about her own personal life, she talks about how hiraeth has worked to help her understand different pieces of her life.
Thank you, Katharine. When we return, I'll visit with one of the owners of Reed's North here in Warner, where New England comfort food creations pair well with designer libations. Please stay with us as we hear from one of the good underwriters that make your Yankee Chronicle possible.
This program is supported by MainStreet BookEnds of Warner for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. MainStreet BookEnds of Warner.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from MainStreet BookEnds right here in Warner. And I'm now joined by another Warner business owner, Steve Reddy of Reed's North. Hi, Steve.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
And I'm excited to hear. Tell us all about Reed's North.
Okay, so Reed's North is a restaurant located right in historic downtown Warner.
Love it.
Our menu is, we describe it as comfort food with a flair.
Ooh.
So we do New England style comfort food made from the freshest ingredients possible. For people that are bar fans, when they go out to eat, we offer craft beer, signature cocktails, and our wine list was actually developed by a sommelier, so hopefully something for everybody when they come out.
That's amazing. Give me an example of something that's a comfort food that's on the menu.
So I think we're widely known for our chicken tenders, which we hand bread all our tenders. We buy a specialty chicken product. All our tenders are double breaded and fried to order. Something else that people buy frequently is our hand cut French fries. Every morning we cut French fries just like they do at the fairgrounds.
Amazing.
And our mac and cheese, which is every dish literally made to order.
Well, we should have been doing a taste testing during this interview.
You're welcome to come back and do that.
Okay, I might just do that. And tell us about some of the events that you have at Reed's North.
Yeah, so we are actually billed as an American tavern. So part of being a tavern historically is that you are part of the community where people meet, conduct business, politics sometimes,
sure,
other business, and we have always tried to tie into that ethic. So every Wednesday we do a different promotion. For instance, last night we did Red Solo Cup, which was a tribute to Toby Keith.
Yes.
And as it turns out, there's a lot of Toby Keith fans in Warner.
Okay, they came out.
And we do this once a month, a fundraiser. But the week after that is our second annual Fear the Beer, where we release from our own cellar hard to find and rare beers for people to taste, as well as an IPA showdown taste-off. So that's just an example of some of the events. Every Thursday we have trivia, which is hosted by Competitive Edge Trivia with some really awesome prizes.
Nice.
Saturdays we do Tavern nights, so we have live music, a combination of local talent and some of the best acts in the state that we get through because we have two venues.
Wow.
And even Saturday, a shameless plug for the local Girl Scouts will be here selling Girl Scout cookies from 12 to 4.
Nothing better than a restaurant with Girl Scout cookies. That's perfect. Right. If this is a lot of wonderful events, how can people find more information about all the events you have?
So we have a very active Facebook page, which is just Reed's North, Instagram, and our website is more geared towards online ordering, so definitely visit us on Facebook.
But online ordering is wonderful too.
It is.
You mentioned a sister location. Tell us about that.
Sure. So our original restaurant we actually opened 4 years ago during COVID. Okay. And that is in Chichester. And some of the items on the menu, the core menu, is very similar. But both restaurants have some different specials and different things on their menu to make it fresh, completely different drink lists and beer lists.
Amazing. And what's that restaurant called? That
is Flannel Tavern, which I'm proud to say has become a destination for New Hampshire foodies. I hate to use that term.
Yes, I've seen it on Instagram.
Okay, yeah, so it has become a destination restaurant for food fanatics and people that like craft beer. So we're trying to recreate the same thing in Warner, which is a little closer to where we live.
That's perfect. Tell me about your restaurant experience in the past, just as a historian aspect.
Yeah, so my restaurant experience is the fact that my fiance, our executive chef, Carrie Williams, is the brains behind our restaurants.
Amazing.
Yep.
And then you're the party planner. Are you the events guy?
Pretty much, but it's Carrie's vision. As I said, she's our executive chef. She has had experience as a local restaurant bartender and bar manager. We did catering together for 10 years, so that kind of launched us into the restaurant end of the business.
Amazing.
But it's really, as far as the food, it's her vision, and she's done a great job of turning it into something that we think people really like.
Well, it sounds amazing, and everyone should check it out right here on Main Street, Reed's North.
Reed's North.
And a wonderful addition, I think, to Warner. It's great to have just so many great businesses right here.
Yeah, well, we enjoy being in Warner.
Good. Well, Steve, really nice to meet you. Thank you for giving us the whole lowdown. I think I got to come and experience some of these awesome events you have coming up.
I wish you would.
Thank you. Really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sure sounds like a fun place, good food and libations to please. Check them out. When we return, we'll move across the street from Reed's to the restoration project of the old Masonic Lodge. Please don't touch that clicker while we introduce you to another one of our great underwriters.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Main Street Warner Inc. is a community nonprofit foundation acquired the old Masonic Lodge building a couple years ago. This magnificent building was built as Warner's First Baptist Church, dedicated on September 25th, 1833, purchased by the Masons in 1964, and now continued serving the home as the community of Warner as Main Street Warner Inc. Let's see what they're doing to bring it back to life.
Well, I've been fortunate to have been a resident here for 38 years now. My wife and I have raised 4 children here and have been a part of the community, active part of the community for all of that time. And we fell in love with Warner during the Fall Foliage Festival. It's also got a very rich and vibrant history of keeping the community active, and it's those places that we have worked hard as a community to preserve these many years, provide the space for that intercommunication between residents to happen. And that's really at the center of what we're talking about today, the lodge. But there's always been in town, in the village here, active guest houses and businesses, and that remains the case today. Main Street Warner Inc. was established in 2000, and really was kind of an impetus for some of the things that have happened in the last 20 years or so. And in 2004, we were fortunate enough to be selected by Plan New Hampshire, which is an organization doing just what the name suggests, involved in all sorts of planning projects throughout New Hampshire, to work directly with communities on projects that they are interested in. We were concerned about and interested in Exit 9. Started feeling the pressures of that being very valuable land, especially when Interstate 89 came through in the late 60s. But this is a good stopping point. Many of our people passing through are coming from Canada or Boston and traveling one place to another. We need the places that those people can visit, and that the community can interact with those visitors and provide them services. It starts off with a public meeting, and Warner had one of the largest public gatherings in the state at these charrettes. So there's been a lot of effort to preserve the character of that space, and control the character of that space. So again, the importance of having all of the town residents being able to meet and gather at many different functions right here in the village has been a key component. Sometimes it's simply a matter of keeping an eye open for opportunity. Opportunity comes from the strangest places. The state of New Hampshire was upgrading the drainage through the village. And as part of that, we had an opportunity to provide an outlet, the drainage from the main street. It turned out that the store on Main Street called BookEnds, which was the center and heart of MainStreet Warner Inc., had adjacent land there. And we together looked at ideas for the development of a community park, and the drainage system would go down through the middle of that, which provided heavy construction equipment, which was donated by Weaver Brothers. And we created the amphitheater and exterior setting for what has become a cultural center for the village. The Jim Mitchell Park, as it was named after the unfortunate passing of Jim Mitchell, has become a very active center of the village when the lodge behind me became available. And that is now truly the center of the village. The lodge will serve multiple uses, and it is going to be an entertaining and useful space. We'll have a kitchen facility and a host of other things. That's in the planning stages now, and there's plenty of opportunity for input, and there's never a shortage of input in the community of Warner for the preservation, for the creation of these important public spaces where we can all get together and share our time and ideas and thoughts and energy to the benefit of the town.
Thanks, guys. For more information about Main Street Warner's efforts around the community, check out their website, mainstreetwarnerinc.org. When we return, we'll go on location to hear about another Lindsey Schust music project. But first, let's hear from another one of our community-minded underwriters. Please stay with us.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge-Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to the Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. A couple years ago, we were introduced to Lindsey Schust and her music. Not one to let her grass grow under her feet, she is on to her next project. Tell us more, Lindsey.
Well, I got interested in African music through my mom, Grace Schust, and she was an early adopter of like hand drumming in the 80s before it was sort of really well known. And, so she started to teach me drumming when I was like 7, and then she started to bring me to classes with these Caribbean drummers and West African drummers, and I kind of grew up with it. And also, my parents started a drum business when I was in high school, and they made this drum here and this drum here. Because my father's a woodworker and my mother's a drummer, and then they started to import drums from Mali, like this is a djembe, and this is a junjun or dunun, and so it's just drums were everywhere. We growing up with drums, and then I have to also mention the person who really brought African drumming to America was Baba Olatunji and his Drums of Passion, and this was in the 50s, and he became my mom's #1 first African teacher, and then our family became like close friends. He was my godfather, so I spent a lot of time around Baba too, and he was a great singer and orator, and he would always make us sing. I was just sort of like, it was all in my life this whole time, and I'm still really close with a lot of, Baba passed away, but I'm really close with his lead drummer from Nigeria, Sikiru, who plays with Mickey Hart, and he was really close with his lead drummer from Nigeria, Sikiru, who plays with Mickey Hart, and he was in the Planet Drum project, and he's like been my mentor about a lot about how to combine like West African styles with modern music, you know, with jazz and rock and blues. So this project came into being like 2 years ago. I reconnected with a really close friend of mine who lived here in the late 90s, and we did a lot of drumming together. He's a master drummer, master guitarist, Papazani Jabate. Not only is he a good friend, but he's from a legendary family. His father was had a big band, the Super Jata band, and he was kind of like Jimi Hendrix in Mali. He's also from a musical lineage in Mali. They have a lineage that goes back to like the 13th century of people who are born to be musicians, originally like for the king, you know, and they call them griots. And he's from one of those families, so their job is to keep the traditions going. And we've been friends since, you know, we were like, you know, 19. He had to go back to Mali, and we stayed in touch. We did a project together in 2002 where we put out an album, and one of those songs became a hit on the radio in Mali. And it was a collaboration, like a combination of West African and jazzy arrangement that I did. 2 years ago, we decided let's do an album. Why not? I'll record here and send my tracks to Mali, and he'll record in Mali and get some of the traditional musicians there to play with him, and professionals, and do an album. So they're mixing it and producing it there. So it's got a little bit of American influence, some salsa, reggae, blues, rock, you know, country kind of feel mixed into it. It's a marriage of cultures. It's African and Malian different cultures. They have lots of different musical styles and ethnic groups. So the music video that we put out is it's called Muso Women. Muso means women in their language. I filmed my students, and my mom filmed me dancing in the snow because it was March. Put on these beautiful African dresses that they made me. This is made of thin cotton. It's a fabric designed after this traditional fabric, which is actually woven heavy cotton. And the footage came out really well. Like, it's really an interesting combination of like almost otherworldly. The snow's swirling around. There's this exotic, like, patterned dress. And in the Mali portion of it, he got members of some of the best dancers in Mali from the National Ballet. He also filmed in this village, and you know, when you start a project, you think it's just about this, and then all of a sudden it has a life of its own. So this song inspired us to help a village, a small village of about 200 people in the area called Wankaro, and these women in the village are in our video. The video is about women's empowerment, and the song is called Muso, and it's saying women can do everything in the world. Besides just doing a video and a song, we wanted to actually do something for the women in Mali. So he was visiting a friend in this village, and with the camera he showed me the women carrying water. He showed me this while he was there, and I said, this has to be in the video because we're doing a video about women, and these women are amazing. They got dressed up in their like wedding gowns, and they all came out, and demonstrated the physical labor that they have to do every day, which is getting water out of a well with a little plastic bag, and then pounding cassava root by hand. And so they said, these women were talking to him and hearing about his project, and they asked him to please see if there's anything that the Americans could do to help. And I said, you know what, we're doing a GoFundMe for our album. Why don't we see if we get enough money? We'll give some to this village and help them, you know, get another well or do something. And so he talked to them. He said, what would you like if we could raise some money, small amount? What do you guys need? And they said, we need a garden because we have no way to make money. And if we had a garden, we could sell vegetables at the market. And so he let me know this. We raised the money, and he went right over to this village, and the women were like in tears and laughing and so happy. And they used this money to buy a little plot, and they put in a garden. And they sent a few videos while they're, you know, planting, and then they sent one when they're harvesting, and they were like dancing and using sticks and thrashing the wheat the way they would a long time ago here, with music and drums. And you know what happened is we did this project. We got inspired to actually give something back to the women in Africa. We helped this particular village, and it's made a difference for this small group of people.
La
So you've just seen a Musso video, and we're hoping to do another video for at least one more from one of the songs on the album. At this point, we have 7 songs on the album. We're hoping that we're working on. We're hoping to have maybe 8 or more if we can stretch it out a bit. You know, I think it will probably be another year or so of working on this to really finish up the creative work, to do the recording, and then you have to kind of plan out how you release your music to the public and do it maybe song by song. And the other part of it is I really hope to, although we've been doing it remotely, I'm working on a plan to try to meet in the middle, or have him come here, or I go to Mali, or meet in the middle in Europe or something, and do a live presentation and do like premiere this stuff. And that would be my ultimate goal, is to actually do a live show. So on YouTube, we posted the video, and we added some English subtitles so you can hear what the words are saying. And the song is essentially about women's empowerment, and that women can do anything, and that people should respect women. One of the things that's been really humbling for this project is we have done a GoFundMe, and a lot of people have really supported this work and helped us, and we really want to thank all the people who've been supporting us to make it possible to do these recordings and the video. By the way, we do still need a little help, and so I'd love it if you look at our video and you like it. If you could share the GoFundMe link, that would be great, because we still need a little bit more just to finish up.
Thank you for this international effort to expose us to new music from everywhere. Next week, we'll be right back here at Main Street Bookends here in Warner, when we hear about Warner's 250th anniversary celebration that has already begun. We'll close with a visit to the Sweet Beet Market in Bradford for an update on their offerings. Join us again next week here at the same time for another round of your Who, What, Where, and When show of the Lake Sunapee region. I'm Abby Peel. See you next week.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.